Hello. As we all know that college students all around the world, especially in India, are so pressured that they need things to be explained them to them in a better manner, in a useful manner. And hence this video. Today, in this video, we are going to learn how to draft or use Word or Google Docs and which one is better suited to you according to your preferences and how you want to go about your work. First and foremost thing that differentiates both between both of them is Docs works when you have internet access. Yes, you can easily control it after being given the access. You can easily control it, but it works when you have access to the internet. So this is how Docs works. You'll have to go on Google Chrome. Your account is already logged in. If not, you have to create a Gmail account, and that would give you the access to all the amenities that Google provides, including Docs. Here on the screen, you can see this. To go here, scroll and open the Docs. Simple. There are various options that the Docs provide. There are various templates that the Docs provides. But for my convenience and yours to explain the working of Docs, I'll go for the blank template. This is the basic outlet of a Docs. The screen is 100%. This is the size you can choose from. The font, which I usually prefer, is Times New Roman. And all the other functions, which is the font size. You can decrease, increase the font size as you please. This will bold your, so to explain the basic functions of Docs, I would like to write something. A word maybe, let's write Google Docs for the word itself. This, you can bold it with this option. This is for italicized and for underlining. Now, if you want to have an option to change the color of your text, here's the text color option. You can change it to green, to blue, select it to blue, as you please. This is the highlighter. So you will select the text, click on the highlighter part, and your text will be highlighted like this. You can use the highlighter to indicate specific portions of your text. Example. So this will come to later on. But for example, I wrote a line, supposedly without the highlighter initially. India is the most populated. Okay, it is not, but for the convenience of the statement, let's just, okay. India is the largest written. Okay, so while I was writing, you could see that I made an error, which the Docs would correct itself, just like it did right now. If Docs thinks that you are making an error in a word that it can easily detect, like a word written, which is easily detectable, and you have written instead of it, Docs would provide an option. It would automatically change the word which it feels is the most closest to the word actually existing. So India is the largest written democracy is the sentence that I wrote. The Constitution of India is the supreme law of land and is to be adhered at all times. Now, this is the line, and I want to highlight a specific portion of the line. Suppose the Constitution of India being that portion, being that term or phrase. So now I could do it through highlighting. One way. If this looks tacky to you or too bright to you, it could be done through underlining, through bolding, italicizing the text, or changing the color of the text. All of these options provide a very suitable way to highlight a text, to demarcate the text from the rest of the text. Now, some people like their text to be spaced. See this, these lines might look too crowded to them. These are only 2 lines, but if you continue the text in the same line spacing, then the text becomes too crowded for some people to read or for some people to understand. So there's an option for that as well. You select the text, go here, this is the line spacing, single line spacing, 1.5, 1.15, all of this up to you. You choose how much line spacing you want in your text. Now, the text can be justified, left-sided, right-sided, or center. How would that be done? I'll explain you. Let me write few more lines so that it becomes a paragraph instead of just 2 lines. As you can see, I did not use caps lock for the T in the text, and the word automatically detected it and used the correct punctuation and the grammar that we use and made the first letter of the sentence, that is T of the here, capitalized itself. Correct spelling. Now, the Constitution, the word could not detect this word as it is too far from the word Constitution for word to detect it itself. For that, what we can do is go on the word, select it, right click, and then you can go Constitutions here. Now that we're done with it's a sort of a paragraph. So now I'll explain the texture of the text. Select the text, it's a paragraph, right? You can select the paragraph and then you can decide whether you want it to be left-sided, center, right-sided, or justified. These are the basic features how Google Docs operate, and it is the same for Word as well. It's the same thing here. The font size, the font size, you can choose the font, bold, italics, underline, it's all the same for Word. The basic options are the same. This is the highlighter part, this is the text color part. However, what Word and Docs, okay. So I'll just copy paste this paragraph in Word as well, so that it becomes a bit easier for you. So now, great, I can change the font and show you how it can be done in Word. Select the text, choose the font you want, choose the size. However, in Word, what else is new is that you can increase the font size like this by 1, but the next font size. You can choose the next font size like this. Quite easy, right? Select it and this. It's up to you. Now, this is the word how, suppose I select India and now I want to lowercase it, uppercase it. Go here, uppercase. lowercase, capitalize each word, toggle case. So this is how Word is a bit better according to me, because it provides more options and more uh, more convenience apart from docs. Now the major drawback for docs is it does not provide you with the option to add background to your paper. So background in the sense margins to your text. Here I cannot add margins. This would be clear if I show you how to add margins on a Word document. Before we do that, let's adjust the line spacing in Word as well. So this is the option for line spacing in Word, with this being the left alignment, center, right, and justified. Now for Word, how you can add margins to your text in Word is very simple. You just have to go on design, page borders, choose the box or the shadow or 3D border. It's up to you if you want custom borders, if you want box, shadow, 3D. They'll show you how it will look here. This is shadow, 3D, custom. It's up to you what you want. Now I'll go for the box thing, and the box you can choose the color. What color background do you want for your text? They'll show you how it would look in the preview here. So I'll go for a simple black background here. Then you can choose the width, how bold you want your border to be. It could be like this, could be this, it's up to you. So I'll go for 1 because I don't want it to be that bold. And then you can apply it. Simple as that. The border, the page borders give your text a more stability, or it looks better. It adds to your presentation. Now the docs here lacks in, the docs does not provide you with this option. This is the first thing that differs Google Docs from Word. However, one thing that both of them provides now is a sharing. If I want to share my text with someone else in Docs, I'll simply go to share. It's if you want to name your file whatever, it's up to you. Then you can share who you want to share it with. It's up to you. Pretty easy, right? Now for the Docs also, you have the option to share, but you have to save it to cloud. In Docs, the major thing, so Docs is a better option if you have to make a group project online, and especially in the times like pandemic, when you cannot have access to the same laptop, or you cannot work on the same file while sitting together. Docs is a major lifesaver, because in Docs you simply have to share your file with your friends through that email, and all of them will receive this document on their Gmail emails, Gmail accounts, and then all of you can work on the same document at the same time. With Word, it's not that easy, because for sharing you'll have to share it on the cloud, and then they'll make changes, and it becomes a bit difficult, which Docs provided in an easier way. Now, despite Docs having the option for you to share the document and edit the document whenever you have the time, and it would automatically save your document. I should have started with that. The best feature about Google Docs is that it automatically saves your document. If I have written this and I do not like file, I'll choose if I do not save this file somehow, or forget to save it, and I close it, I'll show you again. If I by chance close my Google Docs, Docs would automatically save my file. See, it's automatically saved, which is not an option that Word provides. The major drawback is if you're working on the laptop and it crashes, because it might. Technology is unstable like that. you cannot predict it. If something happens, the light goes off, or there's no power, or your battery is dead, and you are working on a very important document, and at the same time, your laptop crashes, there's a high chance that the Word might not save your document, and the docs do. Word does have recovery account. If you have, like, if you have logged in like I have, then there's an option that you'll recover your document, but it might not be the complete document. You might still lose few paragraphs or words or important details that were on the document. With docs, this is not a problem. You'll have your file as and when you require. Now, for the working part, this was the technical part of the two software, not the software, but two apps or software we're dealing with, that is Google Docs and Microsoft Word. Now, while the Docs is better in the sense that you do not need to worry about your file being distorted if you lost battery or power or something else, and sharing aspect of the file, that you can easily share it with your friends, and you all three or four or how many of you can work at the same time on the Google Docs. But the major problem is that the Word provides better options. If you are preparing a document, it's better to work on Word because it has more options. Now, I'm not sure how many of you know, but there's a lot of technical terms or symbols or way that the things have to be cited or written down for college students. If you're a law student, for example, you need to cite your articles, or you need to cite your work. Whatever you're writing here, you need to cite. If I'm writing the Constitution of India, Supreme Law of Land, I might need to show the source from where I'm getting this. Now, and there is and then when I'm citing something, there are things that I need to do. For example, I am writing Constitution of India. Okay, so Google, so the thing with Word is it provides the same grammatical and spelling options that the docs provided. Now, so I wrote Constitution instead of Constitution, and the Word could not detect this word. So what I would do is I right click here and see the same option. Let's do this. Now I want to small caps Constitution. Now, what is small caps? You'll see in a second. You'll select the word Constitution, press Ctrl D, and you'll get an option to strike through, double strike, subscript, superscript, small caps, all caps, hidden. These are the options, these are the effects, and this is the preview. You could see what would happen. Now strike through, double strike, subscript, small caps, superscript, subscript, small caps, all caps, hidden. This is the option that is not provided in Docs. Docs does not provide you an option for super strike, strike through, or for small caps, which Word provides. Word also provides you with the option of symbols, which is absent, which is not absent in Docs, but Docs does not contain a lot of symbols. And so here's how Word provides symbols. Insert, go to insert, symbol, more symbols, and there's a variety of symbols that you can add from, which is absent in Docs. Special characters, which is which is very important for people who are in professional fields. Suppose copyright, trademark, registered, section, paragraph, people who are preparing professional drafts, for example, lawyers, medical field, or for them, these symbols are very important. So this is not provided. This is absent in docs, which is one of a drawback for college students who are in professional courses. Now, however, despite these symbols being absent from Google Docs, you have an option to purchase add-ons in Google Docs. You can get add-ons for the symbols itself. Now here I'll write symbols. So you can go for icons and symbols and check whether this is what you want. This is the symbols you want. If it matches your necessities. If not, there are other add-ons as well. It's up to you. Search for it. There are options, and after that choose. You want special characters, symbols, up to you, add-ons. But the problem is that these add-ons are usually not that great, and it creates a lot of problem. Now this is the basic working of both the apps. Font size, changing the text, superscript, subscript. This is the basic what these softwares can do. Now, as we delve further, we'll see what else can be done in Word and Docs. So basically, Docs is pretty simple. It does not provide a lot of features that the Word provides. So Docs, yeah, of course, you can insert charts and horizontal line in tables, special characters, as I told you, but there are not a lot of special characters available in Docs. One for example, section is not. There are a lot of special characters available, but Word has a larger range. Docs does not. Inserting page numbers, headers, footers. Okay, so let's go for inserting headers and footers. Headers and footers are basically for providing your document a heading and a footnote if you require. So header, you'll add header here, and you'll suppose you're preparing a medical reports for your college, and you have to write medical report on all your pages as you continue. So this would be your header, medical report, and it would automatically be carry forward to all the pages. But if you want a different header on different page, you can have different first page, or you can choose from options, header format, page numbers, or you can remove the header if you do not want it on a particular page. This is how header works. Similarly, the footer, insert footer. Similarly, this is how a footer works. You can add anything here, options, remove footer format, different first page. Basically, footers are used to add page numbers, but it's also an option to add page numbers from here. It's easier actually. You can add page numbers like that. It would automatically be converted into a header itself if you choose to insert a page number, or if on the top left corner or top right corner or in the center, or if you choose to insert it in the bottom, it would automatically turn into footer, which so you could delete, remove header, and then insert a footer. It's up to you. Now, there's another option which is page break. What is the use of a page break? Now in a document, while students are preparing a document, the teachers might ask them to prepare a document with index table, acknowledgement certificate, and then the main content of their body. For the index table, acknowledgement certificate, cover page, the teacher might ask them to have different page numbers in the form of Roman numerals, and then for the content of the body they might ask them to have page numbers from 1 to 3, that is the regular page numbers. For that we use page numbers. So after this I'll insert a blank page. This works the same way in Word as well. The header footer concept is the same for both. This is header. You can choose in the Word, yes, you can choose what type of header you want. This is the footer option and the page number option, which top page, bottom page, margin, current position. It's up to you where you want to add the page number. Now let's add a blank page here. This is my first page, right? So let's just say I want to make it a cover page. So I'll write Constitution of India. This is my cover page. So yeah, and now I want to start my content from the next page. So I'll add blank page. I'll add my content here. Now I'll add a page break. So after this page, I'll add page break. And now this page that has been added is your page break. You can obviously shift the content from third page to the second page, but now you do have a page break. Now what does a page break do? I'll show you. Now I'll add page number, top page, bottom page here. It's quite easy adding the page numbers, but I want to have different but I want to have a different page number on the second page from my first page. So there's a two ways to do it. There's a way to do it, sorry. So now I'll insert a page break here, and after inserting a page break I can easily have format page number. So as we were discussing about the page numbers, which is quite easy to add, which is added in the header and the footer of your document. Let me just add page borders once again. So you have to, for the page numbers, you just have to go and insert page number. Top of the page, bottom of the page, that is completely up to you in the Word. Now, similar to Docs, Word provides the option to add pictures, shapes, smart art, chart, screenshots for that matter in your Word document, links, bookmarks, cross-references. Now, this is where the Word is a bit advanced than the Docs. You have an option to add citations or references, insert endnote, footnote in Words. And you can also choose the style of citations. This is the APA style of citations, which the college students must be familiar with. The Chicago style and all these styles, which are which the college students are familiar with and know how to add. The word lacks in this area. The other thing that I would like to teach you is to add lines in Word. So we all know insert, we can easily insert tables, which is very easy, or pictures, shapes, smart art. But what is a bit tricky is how to add a line. The best way or the most easiest way is to press the hyphen button on a keyboard for a long time and then enter. This is how you add a line, which is the easiest way. You can also change it to under border line or redo border line. It's up to you. Similarly, the line can be added in docs as well through hyphens, as in docs, you do not have the option to add line through hyphens. What you need to do is insert horizontal line. This is where the Word and the docs differ in horizontal lines as well. Now, as I was telling you how you should go about Word, let's move to some advanced methods which you can use in Word. Now I will teach you how to add numbers and bullets in both Word and Google Docs. Let's start with Google Docs. Now, if I want to add bullet points to the document, which a lot of college students would to make the document more clear or easier in understanding, this is where you'll go. Add number. You can type anything, suppose America, for example. Go for the second part, Australia. This is how you add numbers. Now, how to remove, you can either backspace, quite easy, right? Or you can do Control Z, which is the undo option in both the Google Docs and the Word. Or the other option is you can go back like this or redo like this. You can go both the ways. Similarly, you can, instead of numbers, you could go for bullet points. Easy. Now, in the numbers, you have options. If you want to create a sub point, suppose my point is, my first point is Constitution and law. Now I want to create subsets here, right? So now I can do, what I can do here is do this. Change it, format it. I have options to change the number style, of course, from A, B, C, that's up to me. But I also have an option to have a sub point. So first of all, I'll choose, you can remove the numbers. So the first and foremost choice that if I want to add something under this, select add. This is how you create a sub point under a point in Word document, as well as Google Docs. So now I'll show the same thing here, which is quite easy. Now close this, something, options, it's up to you. Change list level, you can do this here. For the points, for having the option. Similarly, you can have bullet points here. You can choose the line spacing you want to this option. Now, a unique feature that Word provides and Google Docs lack. And for the students who want their list or the names or something that they have written in the docs to be in alphabetical order, I'll suggest that you use Word instead of going for docs, because in docs you cannot change your list. If you have written something, you'll have to adjust it according to you. If I'm writing administrative law, company law, constitution law, labor law, and I'm adding, suppose I'm adding numbers to it as well, and uh, I want this to be uh, alphabetical order. Okay, I've already written it in alphabetical order, but I'll just so marine law. So this is not in alphabetical order. You can see I cannot change the alphabetical order in Google Docs. That's not an option. However, I can do that in Word. I'll show you how. You just have to So you just have to click on this option here, which is A to Z, which automatically arranges it in alphabetical order. Here's the option ascending. I'll click on it, it would arrange it in alphabetical order. Similarly, if I want it in descending order, that can be done as well. Now it's the best way to have your list according to alphabets if you want it. This is paragraph, which is not provided in Google Docs once again. Here, what is done is this marine law is one paragraph and you can add stuff here. Paragraphs, college students already know that the importance of marking a paragraph, which Word provides them and Google Docs does not. The other option that the Word provides, which the Google Doc does not, is the layout. For the college students would understand the importance of the layout. There are certain documents that have to be provided in A4 size, but there are other documents which need a different size of the document. Google Docs is a standard size. However, Word does provide you a variation. So now in the layout option, you obviously have orientation, which is landscape or portrait, but you also have a size option, which provides you the letter, which is the default in my Word. You can change the default. We'll come back to later. Tabloid or legal. For the law students, the legal document is the option to create the drafts. Now, what I was saying about default, which is absent from Google Docs once again, but the Word provides. There are certain settings that the college professors ask students to have while preparing a document. Now it's tricky. Sometimes there can be a chance where you do not have the default settings in your Word, and you give them a document which is not up to their font size or the font they want or the line spacing they want or the justification they want. So now what you can do is, you can see these arrows here. You click on this arrow, you choose the font you want. For me, it's Times New Roman. You choose the style you want, which is regular, and you choose the font size, which is 12 here, and you set as default. For this document or all document based on normal template, I'm doing this for this document only for the time being, but if you are required to choose the same font and the size again and again, you can do that for all the documents. Now, similarly, you can change the style or the justification you want for your documents. By alignment, I want the alignment to be justified and outline level to be body text. And then you can set it as default for this document only, as done above. Similarly, you can do it with the styles as well. That's up to you how you want it. You want no spacing, heading, title too. It's up to you. But now, one option that Word and Google Docs, both of them provide, which can be very helpful while editing a document, is the option to find and replace the words. Now, to show you this, I'll show you a document. To show you this, I need a paragraph. So I'll just choose an essay on Diwali, which is very common. But yeah, I'll just choose a short essay on Diwali from the site to just show you how it can be done. Control plus C, Control plus V. So now I have a sort of essay in front of me, and I want to change the word Diwali to Dipavali in my essay due to plagiarism or because I want it to be different. So what I'll do is I'll go in the replace option. Before I explain you the concept of replace option, let's go for find option. We know that Diwali, if you're writing an essay on Diwali, there's a high chance that you might find the word Ayodhya or Ram or Ramayana or something, or crackers in the text. And this is a short text, but there's a chance that you might have pages and pages to read, and it could become easier if you go for the find option. You type the word you're looking for. Maybe I'll type the word Ram and I'll click on it. I have 5 results, which are as follows. You can see it is being highlighted. This is how you find the word. Now, for finding the word after, this was the option to find the word. What if you want to find a word and replace it? So you go to the replace option. You type what word you want to find. I want to find Diwali and I want to replace it with Deepavali. So there's an option, either you can go replace all, or you can go find next and then replace it, or you can replace all. That's also an option. You made 2 replacement. Do you want to search from beginning? They have already made the 2 words where the Deepavali was mentioned. 3 replacements have been made because only 3 times the word Diwali has been mentioned in the text. This is how you use the find and replace option, which is a very useful tool for editing. This is similarly available in Google Docs as well. So let me just type that here as well. I have it here. Here in the edit option, you have the option of find and replace, which could be accessible through Control plus H as well. Similarly, you can have find Diwali and replace it with Deepavali here. So replace, next, previous, replace, next, replace, that's it has been replaced. That's how you use the find and replace option in Google Docs. Google Docs does not have just the find option, but if you are choosing find and replace option, you can use it just for finding the word as well. The next part that we will focus on is adding footnotes and endnotes to your Word document. Now, footnotes and endnotes are very popular among college students. For whatever they're writing, they have to cite it. They cannot just provide the information, they need to provide the source as well. So they rely on footnotes and endnotes. The footnotes and endnotes are added in almost similar manner. So let's start with footnotes. Now I have written this paragraph and I want to cite from where I have used this, or from where I found this paragraph. I need to add the source of the paragraph. So now I'll go here. I have 2 options. Either I can go to reference and insert footnote, which will show, insert endnote, which will show here, and add that citation. That's up to you what the citation is. Or I could just use Control plus F. Sorry. I could just use Control Shift F. Sorry. So for inserting the footnotes, there's a shortcut as well, which is Control Alt F. Here's a footnote. So you can write the footnote. It's quite easy. However, if there's a specific citation that you want to follow, you can also add, instead of footnote, you can add citations, which many of you might require. Insert citation, add new source. Suppose this is book, and my type of citation is APA as selected in the style here. So author, I don't know. I mean, okay, let me just cite Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice. It's just a demonstration. It's Pride and Prejudice. I'm writing any year that I wish right now. And the city has been England. Not sure, but going with it. Let's go for Penguin Publishing. This is how your citation would show. Of course, it's APA. At the same time, if you add references, at the same time you can have it in the bibliography as well. Either you can choose the title as bibliography, references, works cited, up to you. You can have it in the references field as well. There's an option to edit citation, edit source, convert citation into static text, update citations in bibliography. So now when you cite this here, you insert the citation here, you can at the same time add this you can at the same time add this at the end of your section, which is the references section. So this is how you add a citation in the references section. So now what you have to do is you just have to click on bibliography here and add on references. They showed the references here. You have an option to close it. Yes. Now for this you can, okay, sorry. You can always choose this Control plus X, and okay, so this is an option where you can zoom your document or have it on 100%. You can obviously reduce it, add it more, it's up to you. So you can always add references at the end of the document. You're done here, go here and you add references at the end. You can update the references later on as well, as and when you continue. This is how you add references to your Word document, which is quite useful for the college students. In the Word, you also have an option to use your document in this format. It's up to you if you want to use it or not. Sorry. Okay, so I closed my document by mistake. We'll go back to it. Now the next part that I'm going to show you is a very interesting part in the Word, which Google Docs definitely does not provide. Now for some of us, we need to add page color, or we need to change the color of the page of a document. So now how can we do it? That's the tricky part. If you want to change the page color of all the pages of your document, it becomes quite easy. Sorry. So now I have 2 pages in this document. It is very easy to change the color of the entire page. However, what is tricky is when you want to change just the first page of the document, color of the first page of the document, and not the rest of the pages. First of all, I'll show you how to have the color of all the pages. So I'll go on design and I'll choose page color here and I'll add the page color, which is quite easy. Now this is how you change the page color, but it changes the page color of all the pages, as you can see. Now the trick is, if I want to change only the first page, then what? For this, there's a very unique technique that you can use. I'll go on insert, I'll go on shapes, I'll choose rectangle as the shape. I'll choose this entire page. I need to adjust my screen for that. Let me do this. And okay. So let me just adjust my So I chose the entire page as the shape of the rectangle. Now once I have chosen the entire, I have selected the entire page, I have covered it as rectangle, I'll go for shape fill. Go for shape fill and I'll fill the color I want. This is, supposedly I want this color. This is how we add color to just one page in Word document, which is quite unique and easy as well. So this is what we do. Add page color to just one of the pages. Now as we move forward, I like to show you some things, how to add images to the Word document, which might be a good use. So it's pretty simple. You just have to go and insert pictures from this device or online picture. I'm going for an online picture. So I have to wait, of course. Is not an option. Yeah, so now you can search Bing for, supposedly I want tree in my document, and will show you the images of a tree, and you can choose a picture amongst it. This one, insert, and it's downloading the picture, because of course you need to have it before you upload it. Now whatever I showed you before this, which was the option to add a page, a color to the page, that option is not available in Google Docs. You cannot have that option in Google Docs. So that is another drawback of Google Docs, which the college student might face. So this is a picture, of course, and you can adjust it here like this, size you want, the thickness, or it's up to you. This is how you insert a picture in Word, which is pretty simple. Now what Word also provides editing of the picture. As you can see, you can add margins, a picture. Now you can compress the picture, apply to this picture only as well. You can reset the picture, artistic effects. These are the artistic effects you can give the picture to make it more graphic, to suit it to your style. So if I want it to be frosty, I'll choose this. Now you can have color saturation, color tone, recolor, all the things you do to edit your photos in your mobiles, on Instagram or other apps. Word is providing you for these pictures as well. You can change the color tone, you can have more variations as well, set transparent color, picture color option, correction, you can include brightness, contrast, shape and soften, go back to artistic effects. So Word provides a lot of option when it comes to the picture. Now Word also provides for inserting shapes. Smart art. Smart art is used for preparing flowcharts in your flowcharts or tables or stuff in your document, as like pyramid. Let's go for pyramid. This is a basic pyramid. I want to add it, and so this is, I'll insert my text here. Suppose need one. This is a basic. You can obviously change the size of the text. Change the size of the pyramid. It's up to you. Text can be small, big, it's up to you. So now at the same time, you can change the font size. Right click and font size can be changed. It's up to you. What else can be changed is the fill. Suppose I want the color to be not blue, I want it to be yellow. I can right click on the pyramid and you'll get the chance to change the color through fill option. And that's how you change the color of the pyramid. Looks weird and the combination looks weird, but yes, you can change the outline. You can add color in the outline. As you can see, this is pretty much clear. You can change the style, theme style from here. So this is how you add smart art into your document. You can also add charts to your documents. You can see it's pretty easy. Bar pie. Let's have a pie chart in our document itself. Now you have pie, you can create the numbers here. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's just easier. You can see they'll just add it, which becomes so easy to do because okay, this has to be something which I'm not doing right. Yeah, but this is how we do it. So okay, let me just edit it, just delete it. Sorry. So this is how you add charts and as a bar graph. This is what we do. Pretty easy now that I have deleted the pie itself. I'll just control Z and insert pie chart again. Yeah. You can change it or not, and I'll just change the heading. It's just that's it. So now you can change the color, style, whatever you want. You can select second quarter. It's up to you. It's an option you can do. So this is how you add charts, pictures, smart art in your Word document itself. Now the next thing that I'm going to teach you is how to adjust margins and the layout. I have already told you how the size works. You have an option to choose from whatever you want here to be. Now you also have an option to have columns. Now we are working in one column, but you can have two columns as well to make the text look like this. That's up to you. Now margins can be decided. You can add indent. Indent changes your size of your papers, changes the size of your document, which might not be visible to you now, but it is. It changes the size of your document. So that's what you can see the difference. Indent changes the size of your document. So now the next thing that we're going to do is sum it up. I'll just explain the basic differences and you can choose which one is better for you. I've already told you that the basics are same for both of them. You have the font size, you have the font, you have spacing, bullet, numbers. All of this is very similar. Find and replace is similar. A basic thing that writing and presenting something, writing essay, article can be done in both the documents. But however, if you want to write something or edit something and share it with people, or you want it to be saved automatically, then the Google Docs is definitely a better option. However, if you want to have more better editing and better option, and you want to add charts, pies, or pictures, or for that matter, if you want your first page to be colored, or significantly better features, then the Word is better. What I'm trying to say is, for simpler text or for simpler documents such as just your essays, which just requires you typing the word, you should go for Google Docs, because it would be easier for you to save the document. You do not have to worry about your laptop being crashed, or there being no electricity and your work being demolished. However, if you need better editing for the document, or you need to add citations, references, then you should definitely go for Word, because Word provides a ready-made citations or references option, which the Google Docs definitely lacks. Or however, you need to add more symbols or sections or something, then also you should go for Word, because Google Docs lacks some of the symbols and Word provides a wider range. So all in all, Word is a better software according to me, because it has more features. And if you are a bit more careful with saving your work, then Word is the definitely go to for software. But however, there are chances where you're in a hurry, or you just want to type stuff and just be done with it, then definitely go for Google Docs. However, both the software provides you for the sharing option. So it's up to you. If it's a simpler task and you do not have the time to save or something, you should go for Google Docs. However, if you have the time, you should definitely go for Word. Before I end this video, I would like to show you one last thing, which is how to save a Word document in the PDF form, which a lot of students might need to do. It's very simple. You just have to go for the option as File, Save As, choose where you want to save the file, and in the Save As type, you go for PDF instead of Word. It would be automatically saved as PDF. Right now I'm not saving it, but it would be. Now the other option that I want to show you is how to transfer a Google Doc file into Word without with the citations and all. There is a high chance if you copy paste a Google Doc file to Word document, it would not copy the citations. That would create a problem for you in the future. However, if you go for File, Download as a Microsoft document, then it would be easier, because it would be downloaded with citation and everything. So that would make it easier. Similarly, you can save it as a PDF as well. So both Google Docs and Word provides an option to save the document as PDF, which is a good thing, because students might need PDF more, as PDFs are more stable. And at the same time, Google Docs also provide for an option to make it available as Word with citations and all, which makes your work a lot easier. So what can be done, or what is the best option, is when you have easy work, you can do it on Docs without worrying. However, editing part, you can download the file and have it done on Word, which is tricky, because you have to work both the ways, but it can help you if you want it to. So that's all for today. That's how you use Word and Google. That was some basic and some tricks that I think college students might find useful. Thank you.